Let us hear from the viewpoint of a leading international school executive who currently runs the American School of Bangkok.
So have you seen any changes in the enrollment of the students at the school?
Yes, actually, or I have. I mean, certainly over the last 5 years, 5 or 6 years, at the American School of Bangkok, we've seen a bigger number of international students coming to our school. Right now, I think we're about 54 nationalities. And I think that's because people are starting to see that there's a lot more business, there's a lot more business opportunities in the Asian area. And of course, Bangkok is certainly a hub for business in this region.
Have you seen changes in the makeup of the enrollment of the students at the school?
Well, I think certainly over the last few years, we've seen a number of new international schools opening. Okay. If we talk about international schools, definitely, I think people are seeing that there's a huge amount of benefit from having their children at an international school, and I think that it's something that's going to continue to expand.
Mr. Paul, what is unique about attending an international school in Thailand as opposed to another country?
Well, I think for me, I mean, to be honest with you, most of my experience has been here in Thailand, so I'm going to speak very biasly, I think, from it. But I think that Bangkok, or certainly Thailand, offers a lot of opportunity for students that want to develop, because Thailand is very much a developing country, and we can see that Thailand's becoming a lot more independent and has brought in a lot more technology and information technology especially. And I think the whole business aspect is growing here. And I think that it's great because our students are able to keep in touch with that very closely.
Okay. How important is English for students today?
Well, I think the English language, whether it be American English or British English, is extremely important for students today. Essentially, all business is done internationally in English. I think also Chinese will also become very important over the next few years as well, especially in this region. But I think it's important that every child gets the opportunity to learn English. And not only just learn English, but actually be able to communicate in English. And I think that's one of the great benefits of international education. Here at American School of Bangkok, our children get a lot of opportunity to stand up and do public speaking and actually use English to communicate effectively, rather than just using English or learning it as a subject. It's a big, big difference. Yeah.
What's the difference between the American and British curriculum?
Okay, well, there are some differences that I can outline for you. It's very important to realize at first, though, that there isn't one American curriculum. Okay, the American education system is set up differently in each state at this time, as opposed to the English curriculum, which is a national curriculum. So that's one of the first big distinctions. I think as well, when you get into the high school years and you take examinations or you prepare for examinations, the examinations are structured slightly differently. For example, in the UK, children they learn IGCSEs, or they prepare for IGCSEs and GCSEs. Of course, in America, they look more towards AP to get into college. So I would say that it's more of a structural difference. Obviously, you see in a British system, you see they have years, and in the American system, you see you have grades. So it's mainly structure, and then of course how they prepare for further education.
So what kind of families attend an international school?
Oh, that's a good question, Aura. Actually, it's very, how can I say, it's very mixed. Very mixed indeed. As we were saying before, we have well over 50 nationalities come into our school. And a lot of those nationalities or those families coming here are here with big companies and corporations like Microsoft, DHL, Ericsson, CP Group, Samsung. These are international companies that come from all over the world and have a very strong interest in Thailand. So to answer the question, really business or international business people that want to be here, they tend to send their children to international schools such as the American School of Bangkok.
With the ASEAN Economic Community in 2015, how has the school prepared their students for that?
Well, I think that our students have very much of a head start because they're already prepared in many ways. Our children are very used to collaborating and cooperating with people from all over the world because of the mixed diversity we have at our school. I think it's a very rich environment for our children to go out and do business later on. From from an academic standpoint, our school offers a number of subjects that are perfect for the ASEAN Economic Community integration in 2015. We focus quite heavily on subjects, certainly like our entrepreneurship, where the students go out and actually experience real business situations. We actually have children that compete in entrepreneurial competitions. Last year we had some children that went to Hong Kong. In fact, we were the only school in Thailand out of the 150 plus schools here, international schools here, that were actually sent to Hong Kong to compete in this competition. But we also have things like world economics, Asian economics. We talk about like Asian studies. Our children have a very rich selection of subjects that will be preparing them for the integration in 2015.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Paul Marks.
The educational and regional leadership prospect of Thai international schools is rather a bright and vivid one, as executives and directors are already on high alert for the arrival of the ASEAN community in 2015. International schools in Thailand possesses first-step advantage in ASEAN educational arena.
So is there something different about the international schools in Thailand than, say, suppose in Hong Kong or in China? Is there...
I would not say that it's different because international school in Thailand are established using international curriculum and international standards. And most importantly is that all schools have to be accredited by overseas accreditation agencies. And once the school accredited already, it means that their students can go to continue their studies abroad, anywhere around the world. And I'm very proud to say that right now inter-school education, especially from pre-K to 12 in Thailand, we are #1 in Asia. And you know, a lot of kids graduate from our institutions and were able to continue their study worldwide in the world-recognized universities and something like that. And I myself have my students, my kids graduate from international school, and they turn out to be a very fine global citizen, but remain Thai.
That's good, the best of both worlds.
Right. We here in international school in Thailand, we offer Thai language and culture as well. And so that our aim is to have, for the Thai kids to be a global citizen, but still they be proud of their heritage and their culture and all that. In the same time, expat students, they can learn something from Thailand, and when they go back to their home country, they become the ambassadors to Thailand. That's something that we really aiming for.
So with our plan with the ASEAN community in 2015, what do you think we will see as a change in the education system here?
I think it will be a great opportunity for international school or international education because when we have the Asian community, of course, you know, there will be a lot of changes, and we have to be ready for the changes. And of course, there will be a lot of competition. And the good side of it is that we will have more better quality education because, you know, more competition means more quality. And I think the benefit will go to the students and parents. They will have more choice and, you know, for students to access to their education. And also our teachers, we have the opportunity to, what do you call it, for their professional development. It's better. And, you know, sometimes we have more people from Singapore, from Indonesia, from Brunei, or, you know, to come and work in our country and become the teachers. In the same time, our teachers can go there. So, and it's raised the bar of the standards of professionalism for the teachers and the quality education for the students as well. Okay, and the other side is that we have to be also look at the what do you call that, the culture, you know, that so that we are still maintain the Thai culture and Thai identity, and in the meantime integrate into the ASEAN community. To me, it's not the only ASEAN community, it's another non-party as well that are coming in, for example, Australia, the UK, and all of that stuff. I think a great opportunity to see the global, and we can see a lot of change. And international schools themselves have to be really ready, prepare themselves for the change as well. And that means that they have to work very hard to have quality products, to be able to compete with the new change.
So my next question, I was wondering with the incoming government,
yes,
what would you suggest for them do to improve the education system?
I would like, for our educational systems, there's a lot of good things happening, but I would really focus on in the classroom, how the students and teachers learning, together. And I think that's the essence of the education, because we want our students to learn best, and they understand deeply what they're learning, and they become critical, they become good communicator, they become good analysts. So all of these things, I think the main point the government should focus is how we're going to train the teachers to become very efficient teachers, and and focus on student learning in the classroom. That's more than anything else.
Most important.
Most important, right?
Thank you so much
Okay,
for your time today.
thank you.
ขอบคุณมาก
Thank
ค่ะ
you. ขอบคุณค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ
Follow Towards 2015 open up to the ASEAN market every Wednesday and Thursday from 10:30 to 11 p.m. on ASEAN TV, and you can follow us online via Facebook only on ASEAN TV.